Merhaba merhaba Gabi Noctis'ten herkese merhaba arkadaşlar, nasılsınız? Ona da buna da bana da size de ama herkese merhaba. The First Three 2,5 saate yakın bir oynanış süresi var. Güzel bir oyun. Bir iki videosuna baktığım zaman dramatik, duygusal bir hikayesi var. Ancak bu oyunu kütüphaneye ne zaman aldım bilmiyorum. İndirimdeyken almıştım. 2 bölüm şeklinde bölerim. Tek part değil de 2 bölüm şeklinde bölerim. Güzel bir kısa bir oyun. Güzel bir oyun olur. Dil olarak da bilmiyorum, Türkçe var mıydı, ona bakarız. Eğer ki Türkçe dil desteği yoksa olabildiğince konuya hakim olmaya çalışırız. O su bu su bilmem nesi, beğenini yorumunu eksik etme diyorum. Abone değilsen abone olursan tadından yenmez. Haydi bakalım. Bir tilkiyi aslında yönlendireceğiz. Yavruları olan bir tilki. Tamam. Hatta şu an benim profil de çıktı. Güzelim profil. Evet. Alt yazı var. O var, bu var. Ee, ama dil tabii Türkçe değil. Evet, bilgisayar yani YouTube'dan birkaç videoya baktım. Arkadaşların çoğunu tabii ki bilgisayardan oynamışlar. Bilgisayardan oynayınca da yama olarak sanırım Türkçe yamasını yapmışlar. Olsun. Güzel bir deneyim olacak. Bir yolculuk hikayesi, aslında bir keşif mevzusu. Bu tarzda birkaç tane oyun oynamıştım ama tabii ki de çok fazla ilgi görmemişti. Oynatma listelerinden bakabilirsiniz meraklısına. Haydi bakalım. New game diyelim. Başlayalım. Güzel bir hikaye bizi bekliyor. Bir tilki olarak nasıl bir hikaye olacak bakalım. Yolculuk hikaye ya da keşif oyunlarını severim. Yani platform oyunlarındansa keşif oyunlarını daha çok seviyorum. Evet. Sevilmez mi? Baksana şuraya.
Hi, my name is David Whaley, and I'm the creator of the first tree. I also
Altyazıya biz
voice a
tam
character named
demedik mi
Joseph.
ya?
So I just wanted to introduce you to this commentary mode, tell you that you can find
Bu
interesting
altyazı yok
things
muydu
about how I
abi?
made this game by touching the speech bubbles you
Her
see in the
zamanki
world.
gibi.
So I hope you enjoy it.
Şimdi şöyle. Altyazı var. Yani altyazı var.
Are you awake? I thought I heard you get up.
Yeah, I'm
Zoom.
awake. Sorry, I
Bu da
just
zoom.
can't sleep.
Okey.
Are you thinking about him?
Yeah, a bit. Usually get back
Ya
to sleep, my
konu
love. I'm
olarak baya
fine.
güzel bir konusu varmış.
No, it's
Ama
okay.
olsun.
What else
En
is on
azından
your mind?
İngilizce bilen dostlar için baya iyi.
I
Zoom.
don't know, it seems weird, but I had one of the most vivid dreams of my life. I saw a fox on a snowy mountain, just looking confused and worried. Those eyes, I can't get those eyes out of my head. She was running in the windy snow, looking for something.
Do you think it has to do with you and what's been going on?
I don't know. It was just a dream, Rachel. They're not meant to make sense.
Hadi bakalım.
A lot's happened the past couple
Başladık.
days, that's all.
Well, if you're not going to sleep anyway, you should tell me. I want to hear.
All right.
Evet. Yani yavrularını arayan bir anne tilki mi? Onu da bilmiyorum. Ama bakalım. Güzel bir atmosfer var. Güzel bir oyun. Evet. Burada neyi bulduk? Bir diyalog. Why? Why I met this game? Ah.
So, not far from her home, she followed
Allah
that
Allah.
path to something unexpected.
Yavrularından bir tanesini bu şekilde bulduk.
So it's usually at this point where people say
Evet,
something
oyunu
like,
çözüyorum.
"This is not the kind
Hadi
of game I
bakalım.
was expecting." And that happened a lot at PAX West.
En azından oyunla ilgili de bir şey var, böyle hani
But then they see a
anlatıcı
dead
var.
fox cub.
Bu
Or
güzel.
kit is technically the word. But
Ya aslında
cub
neden
sounds, I don't know, it sounds
bu oyun
better. Like Wes Anderson uses it in
mevzusu
Fantastic Mr.
dönüyor.
Fox. So I
Aslında
thought cub
şunu
would be
yapalım.
alright. But anyway,
Yürüme,
having this
koşma.
game, I wanted it to be more serious.
Şuraya da gidelim
This
bir.
game is based on dealing
Ya kısa bir iki ya da 2,5 saatlik bir oynanışı var. En azından güzel bir hikaye bizi bekliyor. Çözeriz zaten. Her oyunu tabii ki Türkçe oynamıyoruz. Olabildiğince
I didn't
çözeceğiz.
want to talk about with anybody really to this day still. It's very personal. And that's why I made this game. That's exactly the reason.
Aynen şurası.
Because I wanted
Biraz
to get those
zoomlayalım.
feelings out
Karakteri
and
tilki daha yakın olsun.
without like talking
Okay.
about it. And so that's what the first tree is. It's me dealing with my feelings, and it was a personal project, and it was just me. And it actually, like, I'm really glad I made it, but it wasn't easy to make, I guess is what I'm saying.
Dilimsen items.
I'll try not to spoil too much since a lot of this game ties into the very last act, which is the epilogue, I call it. But you'll notice there's lots of items around, and that's kind of what the first tree is about, is like exploring this land and trying to figure out why they're there, what they were used for, and it's kind of explained that this is a dream for Joseph, but it's something different. It's not supposed to be like your average dream. It's supposed to be something a little deeper. So
Bu arada map var mı?
pay attention to all the items that are around and try to figure out
Biraz daha
how
zoom
they
yapalım.
tie into the story.
Güzel. Severim ya. Böyle iyi. Şimdi normal keşfedeceğiz. Koşalım abi. Ben nereye gideceğimi bilmiyorum. Bak, bundan sonrasını gidemiyor. Tamam. Buradan sonrasını gidemiyorsan bizim için daha kolay. Evet. Bu arada yani ülkemizde tilki sayısı fazla. Onu da söylemem lazım. Yani tilkiler gerçekten çok görmesek de işte tabii ki şehir hayatından uzak, dağlık bölgelerde çok tilki sayısı. Haydi bakalım. Normal yürüme. Koş. Hava da açtı bu arada. Kar güzel. Biz buradaydık zaten. Şuradan geldik. Hadi bakalım. Bir tane yavrumuzu biz ölü bulduk. Okey. Aynen. Evet, şu böyle daha iyi.
She couldn't stay though. She had to find her other two children. So she took that path. She followed it towards something ancient.
Ya olabildiğince bu şekilde aslında keşif yani. Koşma mı, yürüme mi dersen keşfetme. The first tree. Evet. Hadi bakalım. Hikayeyi de merak ediyorum. En azından 2 saat 2 bölüm şeklinde güzel bir hikaye deneyimleyelim. Umarım beğenirsiniz dostlarım. Elimden geldiğince. Aha, bir de şunları topluyorum. Güzel. İki tane daha noktam var. Hatta 3 noktam var. Sırasıyla bu noktalara gideceğim. Aha, tavşanlara bak.
bunnies were added
Evet,
because
tavşanlar.
my wife, Elise, who also voices Rachel
Bak
in the
bak
game,
bak bak bak.
who's also helped a ton to make the game. As we were playing, she just said it, the world felt
Ya aslında
kinda
bir
empty.
tane daha oyun vardı mesela, onu ben
Alive
video
enough.
serisi aldım.
So I knew we needed
Mesela
to add some
gereken
kind of life.
şey
And
ilgiyi
so
pek
the bunny
görmedi
was
ama
like the first
oynatma
idea that came to
listelerinden
mind.
ona bakın derim.
And like
İsmi
most
şu
of the
anda
game,
aklıma
I
gelmiyor. O
used
çok
like
daha
publicly
güzel.
available assets to
Aslında
speed up
kayıp bir
production because
ruhun
I was
olayı
working
vardı.
full
Ruh
time
olayı vardı. Kayıp
along
bir
with
ruh
making this game,
mevzusu.
and we just had our first baby,
Gayet
a little girl named
güzel
Evelyn.
bir oyundu ya.
So,
O geldi
we
aklıma şu an.
added- I was
Onu da
messing with
severek
this
oynamıştım
asset
bu arada
called
ama
Sim,
o bir
and at one
5-6 bölüm
point,
oynamıştım onda.
the generation script that creates
Aha,
variations
şunları
of the
alayım.
sizes of the bunny. One time I got out of control and it made like this monster bunny
Şurada bir şeyler
that
var.
towered over everybody. And I shared that GIF on Imager and Reddit, and that was a huge hit. It helped definitely gain an audience for
Şuraya
this
gidelim.
game.
Bu
But it's hard
harita
because this
ya
game
bölgeyi
is,
bir
like, so
tavan
serious about life
şey
and
yapacağız.
death, not giant bunnies.
Keşifte bulunacağız.
But I knew I needed something like a shout out to that 'cause
Işığı
it
da
was pretty fun.
duvara
So if you're
yansıttım
able
da
to
kameraya
catch all
bakıyorum.
the
İyi
bunnies on this
iyi ya.
map, I think
İyi
there's
abi.
around 13.
Bu ne?
Then you'll get a special
Aha.
surprise. So good luck.
Şurada bir şey var. İyi şanslar diledi bize. Okey. Sanırım yavrularımızı arıyoruz biz ya. Evet.
As a kid, did you ever do show and tell in your class?
Yeah, I think I only did it once when I was in the 4th grade. You know how my life was.
Oyuncak
around then.
gemi.
I wanted to show my class what helped pass the time and distracted me. So I brought a dozen paper cranes I had made. I think I told everyone how badly I wanted to be a bird and fly, embarrassingly enough.
Don't be embarrassed. Every kid wants to fly. For me, it was another toy from my dad, a wooden boat. I remember guarding it so carefully in my hands as I walked into class. When I sat down, a group of boys immediately made fun of it. They asked which trash can I found it in, or why an ugly log was my favorite toy. When I got up, I didn't even want to tell them my dad had carved it.
Okey.
I said it was a joke gift my friend had given me.
Kids can be so
O
cruel.
anlatırken
Some of them are.
biz
I shouldn't have let them get to
şöyle
me,
yapalım.
but it did.
Şurada da bir
It's
şey
amazing
vardı.
to bounce back at all.
Şuraya gideyim. Haydi bakalım. Keşfedelim. Evet, birkaç tane nokta var. Şurayı keşfetmem lazım. Hadi bakalım. Şunları keşfedeceğiz. Evet. Gördüm, gördüm. Gördüm. Ya bu tarz oyunları gerçekten seversem çok çok güzel. Şöyle orayı geçtim. Hadi bakalım. Şu an merak ettim yani nereye, nasıl bir hikayeyle bizi alıp götürecek. Bu tarz mesela oyunlarda hikayesi çok güzel olur. Mesela kardeşlerin oyunu vardı, Brothers. Yanlış söylemeyeyim. Mesela onda hiç konuşma yok, bir şey yok. Çok Felaket bir oyun. Hatta meraklısı için de kanalda var. Oynatma listelerinde var. Onu da keyifle oynamıştım. Alaska.
And I don't have a real connection to Alaska except through friends who live there, and it was also the place that me and my dad were gonna go right before he passed away. But I love the idea of Alaska being like this beautiful solitary place. But anyway, what that has to do with sourdough is it's an Alaskan slang term about like someone who lives in the backwoods, like a redneck in Alaska. So I thought that was just to put some authenticity into the game. I added that word.
Telefon kulübesi mi? Yok, merdivenmiş. The first tree. Hadi bakalım.
The older I got, the more I withdrew. I asked myself, why talk to anybody anyway? Why bother when I'm happy by myself? I started drawing a lot, mostly animals I saw in the woods by my home. I then imagined designing my own hideouts with things like TVs and pantries full of chips and cookies. I think that idea of leaving home and drawing blueprints started my career. I found a lot of solace in that.
I'm not surprised, but I did the same thing, you know? There's something special about having a place to call your own.
And now look at us. Well, if you count renting in an overpriced city.
It's as close as we can get for now.
I thought it was important to say that, yes, I actually did draw this with crayons. And it was just funny to me one day that I was like, I'm working on my game, and I pulled out my little 1-year-old's like crayon set to draw this item for this game. I just realized just now that I probably threw away the original. I probably should have kept it and given it away to somebody, but oh well.
Tam bir barınak.
I feel like one of the main reasons people play small indie games is because they are so personal and intimate. So I tried to put myself into this game as much as possible. So almost all the vignettes or little stories you hear in this game, they come from my childhood, where I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Central Virginia in the United States. So yeah, that's probably why I love games like this so much, where you explore this open, wide environment and just find interesting things, because that's exactly what I did as a kid.
Evet. Dedik edeceğiz. Bakalım bütün infoları alalım. Haydi. Bu yol ileri çıkıyor da şurada bir tane aşağıda şey yapmadık ama. Bir tane nokta var. Birkaç noktaya es geçtim. Onları halledelim. Şurası.
did for a living?
Wasn't he like a lumberjack?
That's one way of putting it. If wood was a canvas, then a carving knife was his paintbrush. Even after working a 50-hour week, even after his hands were more splinters than skin, he would bring home the nicest piece of Alaskan weeping cedar and make me toys. That wooden train was the first toy I can remember, and I loved it.
Haydi tam
I
gaz
just knew
devam.
from a young age I was going to be a lumberjack.
Türkçe
my
dilde istiyor olsa keşke de işte.
father.
Tabi merak eden dostum varsa da Türkçe yama şeklinde YouTube'da birçok video var. Ya ben tabii ki deneyimlemek istedim. O yüzden bakalım. Hadi bakalım. Tilkicik. Okey. Hava karardı. Evet. Chapter 1 gibi oldu. Bunu tamamladık. Aman Allah'ım, işte bak böyle gel. İşte bu. Ne kadar güzel. Seviyorum ben böyle olunca ya.
My teenage years were full of sketching, angst, and trouble. I wasn't popular or unpopular. Maybe just forgettable. I guess that gave me a sense of freedom. So I hung out with crazy kids, doing crazy things, even though I
Aslında
mostly
bu
just watched the
şimdi
chaos
konuşma
and see.
direkt çıkıyor ya.
We did it all. Put fireworks in mailboxes.
Direkt
I
bunu
roadkill in
Google'la
people's garages,
çevirip de şey yapabilirdim
break
ama
windows of the
çok
barbershop
uzar
in
ya
Anchorage.
kayıtla.
My dad was furious,
Aynen.
but he was so busy working he couldn't do much to stop me from going out.
I think being an adult means there's no one to stop you making hard decisions. He had to make a living, and he couldn't be in two places at once.
Tam bir keşif
Yeah, I
oyunu.
realize that now. But
Tatlı
at the
işte ya. Bu
time,
yüzden
I
seviyorum
was
ben
sure he
keşif
was more
oyunlarını.
interested in growing his business than what was going on with me.
Ghost of Tsushima'daki tilki gibi değil ama. Evet, şurada bir şeyler var. Kelebek mi onlar? Aynen.
This is the level that I showed at PAX West, which was a crazy dream come true that this hobby project was being shown next to all these amazing indie games. So I decided to show this level because it's smaller, there's like some jumping puzzles, and I thought it was a good entry into the game. But the one thing I can't seem to forget is right before we opened to the public, there was an indie dev superstar. Like, you've definitely heard of his games. And I was like terrified. He wanted to try it out. So I said, of course, like, please give me your feedback. And he was super nice, super talented, of course. But this embarrassing bug happened, which I'd never seen before in my life, where when he dug the item up, he jumped right after, and it created the dust cloud to permanently be on the rest of the level. It wouldn't turn off. So it looked like this fart cloud following the fox as it just kept running with this beautiful music and serious voiceover. And it was horrible. I think about that every time I look at this level. But, you know, I was able to fix it, so I'm glad someone could at least find that bug. I always wanted this game to be very meditative and relaxing.
Adamlar oyun
But I know
içerisinde
there's a balance
kendi
between
oyunlarını
keeping the player's
anlatıyorlar
interest.
işte. Şöyle
So
oldu,
I
böyle.
added this butterfly jumping mechanic Just to like spice things up,
çok güzel.
I used a plugin called Playmaker for Unity, which in a visual editor lets you do
kelebeklerle birlikte daha yükseğe atlayabiliyoruz.
Film and design background. But on the flip side, I really wish I was good at code because the jumping mechanic in the whole game actually has frustrated a lot of
Atlama
players.
mekaniğini anlat.
Hopefully I've been able to fine tune it, so it should feel a lot better now. I would just hate that this meditative game would get frustrating, so I've definitely I've lowered the gravity, I've made the jumps more consistent, so hopefully people can just focus on the world and the story. He was working another late night, and my friends were over, saying how bored they were and how they had come all the way out to my house for nothing. One of them mentioned how that old, ugly beyond belief truck was still in the garage, and how we should take it for a spin. I was only 15, so I kind of fought it for a while. The next thing I knew, we were careening around the mountain path, rocks spitting onto the sides of the cliff, while my dad's cringeworthy bluegrass blared out the speakers. I drove while my friends were in the back of that yellow and purple truck, throwing beer bottles and trash at anything remotely interesting. Felt like I was soaring in the air with borrowed wings. But all good things have endings.
Bayağı sessiz
Cop
kaldım.
outside of Eagle River
Yapacak bir şey
pulled
yok.
us over after he saw us in a bottle rocket
Aynen,
in
yukarı
someone's
çıkmam
yard.
lazım.
What followed was a long night of talking to disappointed adults and feeling smaller than ever.
Ha, kelebeklerle birlikte. Kelebekler nerede? Kelebekler. Bug'a girdi. Kelebek nerede? Ben buraya çıkmıştım. Ha, şurada. Kelebekler sarsın beni. Wow. Çok güzel. Orada da kelebek var. Yemedi. Anlatmama gerek yok. Yüzüme.
You may have noticed there's a little pond here, and believe it or not, I tried everything I could to get swimming working in this game, and I just could not do it, unfortunately. And so all the water in this game you can just stand in, which is, it still like bums me out, but the systems were not working, it was buggy. So I just had to throw it out, which, you know, I think it's okay. Like, I wish it was there, but again, the focus of this game is on the story.
Şuraya çıkamadım ya. Çıkamadım. Aa, şurada bir şey daha var. Evet. Onu biz şöyle alacağız. Ha, şurada da bir şey var. Bir dakika. Kelebekler her yerimde uçuşuyor. Müzik güzel. Oyun güzel dostlar. Yani tam böyle dinlendirici bir havası var.
After he drove me home from the police station, I blew up at him, saying how I never wanted to be like him, how I was gonna be someone and leave that hick icebox for good. He just looked forward at the road with tired eyes. I took out that bluegrass tape from the cassette deck and chucked it out the window. In my sage teenage wisdom, I thought I proved the ultimate point. But my dad had a different idea. He slammed the brakes, slowly bowed his head while gripping the steering wheel, and finally looked at me. All he said, like it was a polite request, was, "Make this right." I sat there in silence, fuming, but I eventually got out and combed every square inch of the woods.
Şimdi 3 tane var burada.
Profanity after profanity.
Şuradan oradaki kelebeği de alırsam sayı artarsa daha fazla sıçrama olayım var mı?
I went back to the truck.
Bakmamız lazım.
Put the
Deneyeceğiz.
wet tape back in. And sure enough, it worked. We didn't speak another word to each other the rest of the night.
Wow, I knew you were a crazy teenager.
Mecbur
It's hard to
zıplayacağım
believe,
orada ya.
isn't it? Surprises me too.
Zıplamadan
I didn't
gitmem
really know
lazım.
who that kid was back then. I bet my dad thought the same thing over and over. It's
Yani
almost like he was saying, "Make this
şurada
right,"
da
to
vardı.
himself more than to me.
Heh. Vay, mantık çok güzel. Sevdim ben bu işi. Daha fazla sıçrama verecek. Güzel güzel. Kelebekleri topladım. Gidiyorum. Evet, kelebekler. Hızlı. Yetmedi. Yetmedi. Yetmedi. Şimdi şöyle yapacağım. 1, 2, 3. Onları toplayacağız. Evet. Geç oldu ama çözdük. Lütfen. İlk bunu mu almam lazımdı ya? Ya buradan da zıplarsam bu şeyi kullanmış olacağım. Bir dakika. Allah Allah. Hadi Allah için ha. Allah'ım. Zıpladım.
My biggest hope for the players that are playing is that they realize how similar these two parallel stories are, of this fox looking for her missing cubs and also of this son reconnecting with his father. And so I try to add little touches in the voiceover and in the environment to help draw those parallels, even if they seem totally dissimilar. A big example is the truck, for instance, that Joseph grew up with. It's purple and yellow like the butterflies for this fox. So I tried to add as many touches like that throughout the story as possible.
Farklı bir tarzı var oyunun. Dinlendirici. Ha, 3 tane lazım. 3 tane lazım. 3 tane lazım. Dur deneyelim bakalım. Yemedi. Evet, 3 tane kelebek lazım. 3 kelebek ordusu takım, 3 takım kelebek lazım. Evet. Muazzam daldım. Evet. Ya buna zıplamadan nasıl alabilirim şunu? Hadi bu tamam. Abi zıplamadan almam lazım. Onu da nasıl alacağım ki zıplamadan? Çıkmıyor işte. Zıplamam lazım. Bak. Ha. Bak böyle oluyor işte. Şimdi şöyle yapacağım. Ay Allah'ım. Başka nerede var? Gözden kaçırdığım bir yer var mıydı? Şunları bir dakika alayım. Okey. Peki bir takım nerede olabilir? Ya da farklı bir yerde var mı? Şurada var. Bir dakika. Şu an yok orada. 2 takım aldık. Şurada var. 3 takım lazım. Ya buraya çıkmam lazım ama benim. Allah'ım yarabbim ya. Mekaniklerini yerim senin. Mekaniklerini yerim. Hadi bakalım.
My friends would laugh about that night and talk about how crazy it was, and I laughed along, pretending it didn't bother me. But it did. I imagined my friends growing old in the bush, unable to find that thrill in those godforsaken ice fields. It's like those mountains were a literal wall, keeping me from leaving, where all I would have to look forward to are lumber yards and evening beers. I had to climb over. That was my only goal for a long time. If there was some way I could take my love of drawing and turn it into a way of escape, nothing would make me happier. I wanted to create instead of tearing trees down. I wanted to move to the lower 48, not because I hated it there in Alaska, but I hated the idea of it. It's like all of that spite inside me had created this monster which followed me around my whole teenage years. I put so much energy into doing what others didn't expect of me. Why did I do that?
There's one fact you're forgetting, though. If you didn't have that fire in you, we probably would have never met.
You're absolutely right. Maybe the destination is all that matters in the end.
Okay.
But then why am I awake? Why am I seeing this fox go on her journey? And why can't I stop thinking about my dad?
Çok güzel. Değil mi? Evet. Burada kalıyorum. İkinci bölümde görüşmek üzere. Beğeninizi, yorumunuzu eksik etmeyin diyorum. Tam bir keşif oyunu. Görüşmek üzere. Dikkat edin kendinize. Haydi bakalım. Oyunlarda görüşürüz.